One thing we're going to find out on July 1st, there's a couple things we're going to find out on July 1st when it comes to Erik Karlsson. Where's he going? Hint, it's not here. Second, how much is he worth? And that's the key thing. There are a lot of teams that are going to be salivating at the idea of Erik Karlsson being a free agent. Should he not reach an agreement for an extension with the San Jose Sharks? Um, he comes in as a pretty well thought of rookie. Gets 26 points in 60 games his first year, 2009 2010. 6 points in 6 games in the playoffs that year. He was a -4 in that first round. But his overall stats have been excellent. Now, what you'll notice is he's first All-Star team and he's a Norris winner in 2011 2012. Same in 2014 2015. First team All-Star 2015 2016 and in 2016 2017. The trick is this. And I mean, I could go over every year. I could go over how well he played. I could go over the goals that he put up, which are impressive in this day and age. The real trick is this, though. The GM that's looking at Erik Karlsson, is he going to be an advanced stats guy? Or is he going to be a meat and potatoes, I want to see where he's at right now? How many points does he put up? How many Norris votes did he get this year, comparatively speaking, with previous years? Because he only played 53 games this year, 3 goals, 42 assists, 45 points. I pointed out while he was struggling to score goals that he was still getting shots. He still looked pretty good, and I felt the goals would come. They never really did. He only ended up with 3. But he only played 53 games. Now, he had groin surgery yesterday. So the Sharks say, yeah, he had groin surgery. Well, is that going to be a lingering issue now? Is it the kind of injury or is the kind of surgery that he can just bounce back from and it's not going to be a big deal? Or is it going to linger? And of course, in October 2017, he had the foot issue, which started keeping him out of the lineup every now and then. But it was a holdover from the 2017 playoffs. The best thing about Erik Karlsson is also the worst thing for his health, which is he will play when he's not 100%. Tonight, the Boston Bruins are playing St. Louis in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Zdeno Chara got his jaw broken 2 days ago, and there's no certainty that he won't play because he'll play with a broken jaw. Some players, doesn't matter. Pain, broken bones, if I can skate, I'm playing. And Karlsson, skating is optional. Whereas if it's your foot, Erik, you can't put any weight on it. Oh, I'm going to skate. I don't care. The trick with that is you can do more damage. By not sitting out when other players might, and by being a warrior and getting through it, you can create more damage, and that injury can take longer to get rid of, and or it can become a chronic problem. The one thing I noticed with Erik Karlsson, and this is not something that advanced stats tell you. Advanced stats will tell you he's fantastic. According to Corsi, Fenwick, and all these other wonderful numbers, he may have had the best year of his career this year. One of them. His stats are fantastic. But his foot speed, when guys are going around him, is a problem. Now, he was battling this groin issue all year. But again, he was battling an injury all year, which we could see. If you watch the games, you could go, geez, the Ducks got that goal, and part of it was that they pitched it around Karlsson, and Karlsson didn't have the speed to come back and beat the guy to the puck. And Erik Karlsson back here absolutely would have. And that's the trick. Whoever signs Karlsson has to remember, last summer, reportedly, he was offered $10 million a year by the Ottawa Senators, and he turned it down. Reportedly. And that he kind of felt that he and Drew Doughty, there's some belief that he and Drew Doughty would get the same number. Doughty ended up with $11 million. So it is possible Karlsson's looking for an $11 million a year deal. Or what he wanted from Ottawa was different from what he'd want from, say, like a Tampa or a San Jose, where he might take less money, not just for tax reasons. Tax reasons definitely are up there, but maybe because it's like, you know what? If I'm going to stay and put up with this crap in San Jose, you're going to pay me. Or maybe it just does come down to taxes. There's speculation of him going back to this team, which he's why? Why would you go back to a team where you didn't talk to the owner for what, almost a year? Didn't have any conversations with management for how long? And they talked about you like you were a pariah, like you were this awful human being when you left. And now here we are, 8 months later, and people are like, he can go back to Ottawa. What? Well, his wife likes it. If your wife knows you hate your job and you're glad to be out of it, and you're glad to have moved to a new location and have this new job, why in the world would that same wife then say, I think you should go back to, when you were miserable, I think it'd be great for you to go back there. And not only that, why would the Senators do it? Why would the Senators, when you've got Melnyk, and God love him, his message is pretty remarkably consistently odd. Why would Melnyk now open up his pocketbooks for a guy that reportedly he said was greedy and very selfish behind the scenes? Melnyk was not a fan of Karlsson, and he's the guy who has to sign the paycheck. I have a feeling that if he stays in San Jose, that if he signs, it'll be a reasonable cap hit. I have a feeling that if he goes to unrestricted free agency, there could be a bidding war between 3, 4, or more teams, and it could be a high cap hit. I know there are Canuck fans, because this happens every summer. Every summer, everybody's going to Vancouver, Montreal, and Toronto. Everybody. That's the way the rumor mill works. Everybody's going there. Everybody's being traded there. All the free agents are going there. To heck with the 23-man roster. They're going to have 46, and they'll just double the salary cap, because that's how that works. If Karlsson were to say go to Vancouver on $11 million a year contract, I would be very, very concerned with that. It's great that first year. Karlsson can still, when healthy, when 100%, be this guy, this first year or first team Norris level defenseman. And hockey fans will tell you 2015, 2016, and 2016, 2017, you could argue he should have had Norris trophies either of or both of those years. I'm not here to make or break that argument. I'm just here to point it out. But last year and this year, he did definitely take a dip. He did. And when I rated the top defenseman in the league, and I had Erik Karlsson last summer as too low for some Sens fans, they were not shy about telling me that I was wrong. But this year, it didn't seem to get better. And again, that's just looking at numbers. That's looking at goals. That's looking at the fact that he missed so many games. He does have that injury-prone kind of look to it, because these are back-to-back seasons now where he's had a chronic issue kind of following him. And yet in the playoffs this year, 16 points in 19 games when he's barely able to skate. And in 2017, when we watched them get one game away from the Stanley Cup final in Ottawa, he had 18 points in 19 games. So remarkably solid numbers, 34 points in 38 games. And yeah, I'm underselling it for a guy who's skating on one foot and skating on one leg. It's not bad. It's pretty darn good. So there may be a general manager of a team out there that says, like Tampa, if you're Tampa's GM, and you're looking at, I almost said Yzerman, if you're looking at this and you say, we're going to make the playoffs, so this is what we're paying him for. We'll pay that $11 million up front. We know we're not going to get more than probably 70 games out of him during the season. Probably, even if we get 60. As long as we get this guy in the playoffs, we'll pay that major money. But if you're a rebuilding team, if you're a team that's not sure you're going to make the playoffs, it gets a little bit dodgier. It gets a little bit trickier when it comes to how much does he get and for how long. I think the term could be a big thing too. If he ends up getting an 8-year contract, and he could, because that's the limit. And again, teams are going to get into bidding wars. And you may sit down with him and you may go, okay, we'll give you $10 million a year for 4 years. All right. And then he comes back to you later. Yeah. They're offering me $10.5 million for 6 years. And you go, do I want to lose him for $500,000 and over a 2-year difference in term? I don't know. I've got the owner breathing down my neck. The owner wants this guy. This is the guy the fans want. And then you end up paying more over longer than you necessarily wanted to. It's going to be a very interesting summer. This is the guy that I think could be a boom or bust. That we're looking at 2 years from now and saying somebody should have seen with those 53 games played that he was only going to play 40 games a year, and he's not the player he used to be. And what a crazy, stupid contract. Or we could be looking back 2 years from now and saying, wow, he had a resurgence back to when he was at his Norris Trophy level, and somebody was very smart and astute in picking him up and giving him all the money he wanted, all the money in the world. This is the big one. This is one of those rare times where a potential Norris Trophy defenseman is on the market, and he's not old, but you could argue he's been through some major injuries and chronic injuries that could affect his value. I'd be really interested to know what you guys think in terms of where does he end up signing? Does he stay in San Jose? Because he's supposed to be talking to them this week and giving them some idea by the end of it. So you would think probably tomorrow, Saturday, whether or not he's going to sign there or whether or not he's going to look elsewhere. And then, of course, there's rumors about his wife wanting to be closer to home, which could leave not just Ottawa, but you're looking at then Montreal, you're looking at Buffalo. Just imagine Buffalo, and if they added him, how quickly people would be right back on that bandwagon as they were back in November. Because if you have Dahlin and Karlsson, and if Karlsson's healthy, right? That's the big thing. Does he have to go and see your doctor? So do you sit down with him and go, all right, we'll give you $11 million, but you have to go talk to our doctor here that we've got, and get a clean bill of health, so they can say, all right, you had this surgery, we got to make sure you're going to be 100%. We want to take a look at that foot of yours that you had the issue with as well. He assures everybody that it's fine, and it may very well be, but if you're going to put that kind of an investment into him, you may want to look at that first. So it's going to be a very, very interesting summer for Erik Karlsson. Let me know how much you think he gets, where he goes. And then July 1st, you can go back to your comment and go, hey, look, I'm a genius. But if you edit it on July 1st, you're a terrible human being. That's just how it works. That's internet rules. I don't make the rules. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just tap it upon this video. And hey, I'll talk to you again soon.